Hello everyone, it's Disappearance here and welcome to a brand new video. Well, I have a theory, and it's a theory about one of the most controversial pack that we have in The Sims 4. No, it's not Journey to Batu, Strangerville. But before starting this video, please check out the description down below. I'm gonna leave all the links that I use to gather the information for this theory, and also a couple of people that helped me with this theory. And while you're there, you can also leave a like to the video. Also, before starting, big spoiler warning for the Strangerville mystery if you still haven't played it. So, in order to get to the theory, I need to lay some foundation first. Since not everyone has played all the games, and especially Strangerville, I have a couple of game canon things that I need to talk about. Bella Goth's disappearance between The Sims and The Sims 2, the canonical multiverse that we are in, and Strangerville, of course. Let's start with the Bella Goth mystery. Bella Goth is one, if not the most iconic Sim from the Sims franchise, having appeared in all the 4 main title games. Her black hair and the red dress are a staple of the Sims since the beginning, and are immediately recognizable by fans.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
She is married to her dear husband Mortimer Goth, and they have 2 children, their daughter Cassandra and their son Alexander. According to the game's canon, Bella Goth disappeared sometimes between The Sims and The Sims 2, and while her disappearance was never really explained, players found many clues and created a plausible story of what happened to her. In fact, it's believed that she was abducted by aliens and taken to Strangetown, a deserty alien world that players got to discover in The Sims 2. And there's a playable Bella Goth that lives in Strangetown, while she is missing from the original Goth house. But this version of Bella Goth has no relationship to her original family and no memories. This theory of the alien abduction is also confirmed in The Sims 2 PSP edition, where Bella claims that she has been abducted by aliens. Although not everyone believes that this Bella is the real one, with some thinking that she is a clone of the original, since they don't super look alike. Moving on, The Sims 3 is set before the events of the original The Sims and of course The Sims 2. In the world of Sunset Valley, a young Bella bachelor, notice the blue eyes instead of brown, this will be important later, and a young Mortimer Goth can both be found. And of course these are the kids' version of what will become the OG Goth family in the later games. What's interesting about The Sims 3 though, is that there is a Bella Goth ghost in Lunar Lakes, one of the downloadable neighborhoods, which suggests that after Bella was abducted, she eventually died of old age in outer space. A theory which was almost confirmed basically by SimGuruSarah. Whether Bella Goth was reunited with her family before dying and being buried in Lunar Lakes, that is still unknown. And now we are left with the last game, The Sims 4, which leads us into the multiverse theory. According to the developers, while the first 3 main games are on the same timeline, with The Sims 3 being the first, followed by The Sims, and then The Sims 2, The Sims 4 is on a completely different timeline altogether. While some of the original characters are still present in the latest game, there are some notable differences, and for the Goth family, the main difference is that Bella Goth was never abducted. Players can find her living with her husband and kids in the world of Willow Creek. And with The Sims 4 being set in a different timeline than the original games, the Bella Goth mystery ended. Or so we thought. My theory started taking shape in June 2021, when my friend hiphiprenee tweeted this photo. She was making over Jess Sigworth, one of the Strangerville townies, and then she put Jess in Bella Goth's hairstyle, and the resemblance is uncanny. They could be sisters, and this kicked my brain into gear. Jess's description says that she had to be transferred to the Strangerville National Base, and that lately her husband Dylan has been noticing some weird changes. Of course, this refers to the main mystery of the pack, since Jess is one of the infected Sims that are controlled by the mother plant. But it could also be something else. But I hear you. Sure, they look similar, but maybe it's just EA being lazy and making Sims look similar. And this is where my other piece of evidence comes in. In Strangerville, there's another household that captured my attention. George Cahill, the elder that lives in the Fallen Plane. According to this household's description, George is a retired pilot that was flying over Strangerville when a flashing light made his plane fail, and now he's living in its remains. What really struck me about George is its appearance. You cannot deny that he looks similar to Mortimer Goth, Bella's husband. The mustache, the chin, especially those really match. And here is where my theory was born. The real Strangerville mystery is not the secret lab or the mother plant, but it's something more subtle. I believe that Jess Sigworth and George Cahill are Bella and Mortimer from right after Bella was abducted in The Sims 2. Hear me out. Despite their appearance being similar, there's more to support my theory. First thing first, Jess's eyes being blue can be explained by looking at baby Bella in The Sims 3, who also has blue eyes. I told you this would be important for later. Also, Strangerville is very similar to Strangetown in The Sims 2. Both words are desert-based words with some Victorian-esque houses and some smaller suburban homes. Plus, if we don't take the secret lab into consideration, both words only have 11 lots. I think it's possible that Strangerville is Strangetown, but in the new timeline that was created in The Sims 4. And this brings us to the characters. Jess is the Bella Goth that was abducted, and the aliens did not just bring her to live in Strangetown, but to a different Strangetown in a different universe. And George Cahill is the elder Mortimer Goth that we see in The Sims 2, distraught from the loss of his dear wife. He bought a military plane and started traveling the world looking for her. But how did he end up in a different universe with a normal military plane, I hear you asking? And here comes into play George's household description. The big flash of light that made his plane crash was actually a portal that brought him into the new dimension, where his estranged wife now lives in. Finding himself in this new universe, he decided to keep quiet, build himself a small house in his plane, and change his names not to raise any suspicions. You want more proof? Let's look at Christy Sigworth, Jess's daughter in Strangerville. I can definitely see a resemblance with the Cassandra Goth, which is Bella Goth's daughter. And that would make sense if they had the same mother, same dark hair, both canonically wear glasses since they are children. You see where I'm going. Still not convinced? Let's confront Bella Goth's skills from past games with Jess's skills. Let's use as a reference Bella's skills in Busting Out for Console, since the Sims 2 version could be a clone. Both have the charisma and fitness skills. The last skill that Jess has is the handiness skill, which the OG Bella doesn't have, but her cooking and creativity skills could still be related to handiness in my opinion. For Mortimer and George, the skills don't line up quite as well, unless we also take into consideration Mortimer's skills in the Sims Console Edition. Charisma and fitness are both present, and the writing skill could be related to creativity skill that Mortimer has. Let's say that now I convinced you and you are on board with my theory that Jess is Bella and Dad was abducted and George is Mortimer. Then why is Jess married to Dylan? I believe that Dylan is one of the aliens that abducted Bella in the first place. Reading Jess's description, we find out that she was recently assigned to the Strangerville National Base. By checking her job, she is only a level 3 military personnel, which is a pretty low level for someone that was especially assigned to such an important job as making sure that the mother plant doesn't take over the entire world. In reality, Dylan is one of the aliens that decided to move her into this new world and made her believe she's military personnel and started living there with her. Do you believe me now? Well, I'm about to add another detail that might change the theory completely. Back in The Sims 2, the Bella Goth that we could play with didn't really look like Bella Goth exactly, and that sparked the idea that she was actually a clone. And in The Sims 3, we can honestly have two Bella Goths existing at the same time, the child Bella Goth and the dead Bella Goth in Lunar Lakes. So here is my final theory. Jess is not Bella Goth. She is a Bella Goth clone. The same technology that aliens used to create a Bella Goth clone in The Sims 2 for them to let her live in Strangetown then was used to create other clones, and Jess Sigworth is one of them. The real Bella is only Bella Bachelor in The Sims 3, Bella Goth in The Sims, and the ghost in Lunar Lakes in The Sims 3. Both the Strangetown Bella and Jess Sigworth are clones that the alien created of her while she was captive. And then, when the original Bella died, she was buried in space. So this is my theory. Jess Sigworth and George Cahill from Strangerville are Bella and Mortimer Goth, trying to reunite in a new universe. What do you think about this theory? Did I convince you? And if anyone at EA wants to say that my theory is correct, you can PayPal me anytime. Just saying. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, put on notifications so that you know when the next video is coming out, and bye bye.